It's time to get spooky.
Spooky?
Ooh. In the month of May.
It's Halloween in May.
That's it, yep. So we played the spookiest game we could find. It's always fun playing games that everyone thinks is very divisive and then trying to come up with your own opinions about them.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And that's what we're going to do today. On this very podcast, known as the Season Anime Checkup OVA. It's a podcast where we have conversations about things like video games, anime, and manga. Hello. I'm Jared, joined as always by the resident Zelda expert and super fan herself, Doc Owl, and Ladium is here.
Hello. Yeah, I mean, I think I've mentioned it a few times on the podcast before, but if I haven't, like, I literally have a tattoo of Link, so
you're not that big of a fan, clearly, is the point.
Link has my back at all times.
He's either gonna like stab someone or stab you in the back. He's got a sword out.
He would never stab me. Ever.
Well, speaking of all that, well, not all that, but Zelda stuff.
The show.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about all that. We recently played through yet another title in the Zelda franchise, and have whittled my way through now to where after this there is only one title left in the mainline franchise that I have yet to play.
You're gonna play it. I gave you.
Yep.
I gave you the tools.
You did give me the tools to play it, so like that's gonna happen sometime in the near future. But one of the other one that I had not yet to play, or I'd played but I hadn't necessarily completed, which I think is a bit of a thing. Majora's Mask.
Yep.
Like I said at the offset of this, a very divisive game in terms of what people think of it, at least in today's culture. Maybe not necessarily as so when it first came out, but as the years have gone on, you know, there are people who love this game and there are people who think it is not necessarily a Zelda game or a good one at that. Which I think there's a point to that because it's not necessarily a Zelda game as you think it is. Like a lot of the necessary like the tropes that you think of when you think of Zelda games aren't here. Like there's no Hyrule, there's no Princess Zelda, there's no Ganon.
For a couple seconds.
For a brief flashback, there's no Ganon, there's no Master Sword.
You don't have like the traditional like collect 3 things, then go like get the other things afterwards in the second version of the world.
You just click 4 things and you're just like, well, I guess I can go finish the game and then.
Yep.
I guess in retrospect, this is probably, I mean, we've talked about how it's cool when the Zelda franchise gets weird. And I think like the most prominent examples of that, at least in terms of the mainline franchise, is Breath of the Wild and Zelda 2. And this is, I mean, obviously there's parallels to why this is similar, but really this is the game that is probably the closest to Zelda 2 in terms of just like strangeness that the franchise has. I mean, obviously because it's a direct sequel to Ocarina, that makes it a little bit more in line with that, but just in terms of switching up the formula entirely, well, I mean, not necessarily entirely because it's still iterated off of Ocarina in terms of that design and that style of gameplay, but like we said, changing up the tropes and everything, like it's very Zelda 2-like.
I agree. I think there's actually Zelda 2 music at one point in the game. I could be wrong on that. I know that Zelda 1 music is in there.
Yeah. It's a strange thing. Like, even going all the way through it and completing it, like, I don't really know what to think of it.
Well, I guess, again, always I give context of things. Because I'm me.
You're you.
I bought this day one.
Of course you did.
Yeah. Which, I mean, considering came out, 2000?
Yes, October 26, 2000 in the States.
So I was 12.
And this is like for context. This is 2 years after Ocarina.
Yep. Wait, 2 years?
2 years.
Yeah, 98. You're right. Um, so I was 12 when it came out, and like I went and made sure that I bought this like day one. I had to have it, which is dedication for a young child.
So let me ask you this, like, because you've by this point of your life, when
mhm.
you're buying this day one, you've played a good majority of Zelda games, most likely.
Yeah, when I was a kid, at that point, I played Zelda 1, 2, Link to the Past, and I'd played Ocarina. I had yet to play any of the handheld ones, but I think the only one that came out at that point was Link's Awakening.
Right. Well, I think maybe the Oracle games might have been out by that point, or at least they were about to come out. But
I
regardless,
think they're about to come out, but yeah, so I played every main line up to this point, and so this was I knew that I needed to have it
right.
because I obviously was a huge fan of the series already, and um, considering this was a direct sequel to Ocarina, which it's interesting to me. Like I am curious how I even found out about it because I lived in like the smallest dang town. Like how did I find? It must have been a magazine or something.
What like are you in terms of like you knowing that it was a sequel going into it, or
Yeah,
oh, okay,
yeah. Because game releases there were kind of hard to come by,
right.
but um, yeah. So I bought this and I had the fun little expansion bit for my 64 and I beat it. I don't know how quickly, but I beat it fairly quickly. It took me much longer to beat Ocarina, but
So so
Maj
so basically,
go ahead.
what was the? How did you like as a kid like think of this game? Because it is such a strange entity. Like, were you thinking like, oh,
It,
this is another great addition to the franchise, or it's like, what it what is this thing? What are they doing with this? This is so weird.
I mean, it's hard to remember exactly,
Right.
but given the fact that in my head, like even to this point, like when the re-release came out, I was still like, oh my God, I love this game. I have to get it. Like clearly it had some huge impact on me as a kid. And I've played it multiple times in the years since it came out between 64 release and the re-release.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I can't remember exactly what I felt at the moment, but I would say that there was definitely some kind of like intense love of it at that point for it to stay with me like that.
Right.
And you know this, some people don't, probably people who are listening don't. Um, I like Majora better than I like Ocarina. Period.
So why is that? Because Ocarina is usually considered the hallmark of the series, yada 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 yada,
Hmm.
and Majora is like the ugly redheaded stepchild because it's so weird.
Honestly, I think the reason why I like Majora better is I like RPGs.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's so many side quests and it's so character driven that like you can go and help all kinds of people and talk to all kinds of people and they have different personalities. That's not just like a copy paste of people. Um, and I had a bit of an argument on Twitter somewhat recently about like Ocarina characters. And the issue with Ocarina is that a lot of the characters are just there.
Right.
Like they don't really have any kind of development or interest. And like when you get to the Anju side quest of Majora, like I cry every single time. Even now, like I still cry because it's amazing how like in 3 days time you get to know these characters and like get a feel of like what their motivations are and what's bothering them and it's something that was really new for Zelda games to think about. Okay, well, what about other characters who aren't Link and Zelda?
I think that's a good point because essentially, if you try and do any like type of side quest in Ocarina, it's there for the sake of being there. Like you're not going to get any any real big story development or anything like that. It's just like, oh, this person is gonna give me an item or something like that. And there's stuff like that in this as well, but
Yeah.
it seems like for a majority of those characters, like they're better written. You'll get a little bit more development than just like, oh, I'm gonna go to this person and just get an item and that's that and get some flavor text. It seems like they actually put more effort into like making characters matter more in this game. And I think that's, part and parcel with the fact that like there's the whole huge side quest mechanic throughout the entire game,
Hmm.
to where if you don't have that, like that portion of the game is going to be a little bit less meaningful.
Right. And I mean, it's something that Zelda games have continued since Majora. They really build up the side characters, and I feel like that's important. But this is where it started, and like the final day when you go talk to the mailman and he's just like having a literal emotional breakdown is it's intense.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have all these characters who you don't know prior to going into this like 3 day cycle, and you get to see basically how they're going to face the apocalypse.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And there's also a lot of dead people, like a lot of dead
There's a
people.
lot of dead people. I mean, this is commonly referred to as like the dark Zelda game, but like
Mm.
it's true.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's it's darker than a lot of Zelda games, and
It's essentially like Nintendo's like, what if we made a Zelda game that's a horror game?
there are moments of it that are extremely creepy.
Yeah.
Like a Happy Mask Salesman still freaks me out.
Like we said, this is a weird game.
It is, and it does a lot different, and I think it does it in a good way. And we talked about Breath of the Wild, like sometimes doing new stuff works, and in that case it did. And I think it did here as well. I know that a lot of people don't agree with me on that, but I felt like it did a lot for the Zelda series in terms of like making it more of a character driven story,
Mm-hmm.
rather than just like, hey, you're Link, go save the princess.
It's more like, hey, Link, make sure the world doesn't just get destroyed, my dude.
Also, you're 10, so have fun, buddy.
Like, I don't necessarily think this is like my favorite Zelda game,
I didn't expect it would be.
because like I think there are parts of it that I just don't like. Like, as much as the time stuff in this game is very important, and like there's a reason why it has that Groundhog Day effect. Like,
Hmm.
I'm just not a big fan of games that like have forced time limits on things. Which that's just in terms of like in with all of games. Like if that's a mechanic, I'm just gonna be like to it. Um, I think following a guide made it a lot easier in terms of like making that less stressful, because
Yeah.
I never really had a problem with it doing it that way. But like when I first originally played it, I had a lot of trouble with it, and I think that's one of the reasons why I never really wanted to go back to it until now, was because of that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, one of the most heartbreaking things in the world is I do remember when I was a kid playing through and trying to get that fancy sword, and I couldn't get it, and I like had completed the temple and had got the powder and everything. I was gonna go get the sword, and it's like, oh no, you can't do that because you can't do this day. And I'm like, no. So there are moments where it's a little frustrating,
Yeah.
but the mechanic is necessary, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's very crucial to the game. It's just one of those things for.
No, and I agree with you. I typically hate time limits on stuff. It gives me real bad anxiety, but I guess on this one I feel okay because I know that I can like reset and do it again eventually.
Right. And I think like
Um,
at least from what I was seeing, like I think the 3DS version, which is the one we just recently played,
yep.
they made it a little bit easier, or they made some changes to like some of the time mechanics to make it less bad from the N64 version. Like I think there was a few like additions to like make it so like you wouldn't have like I think the double time one is a new thing.
It's not new, but I think it functions differently.
So like you don't have to like wait around for
Yeah.
the entire time. You can just like whoop, zip
I
to
think
it's a specific time period.
if I'm remembering correctly, and I might not be, but if I remember correctly in the 64, the double time, it would just speed it up. And
That
in the
makes sense.
3DS one, you
It's just
can
yeah,
choose which time you want to go to.
which makes it a little bit. I'd probably say a lot bit better than just having to wait around and
Oh
waste
yeah, it's
time.
fantastic. Especially when you have somebody, it's like, hey, meet me at 6:30. And it's like, okay, I'll just change it to 6.
Hmm.
This is fine.
Certainly makes that way more manageable than
Yeah.
just padding in hours of gameplay that you don't necessarily need. Excuse me. I might say one bad thing about this game, which is not really a bad thing, but there's almost too much options in terms of things you can get, especially with masks. Like, there's certain masks in that game where you just use them once and that's it.
Yeah, some of them are pointless.
Yeah, so like I feel like there are too many of those. But like considering there's probably like what, maybe 8 that you use super frequently throughout the game, if that.
Yeah, well, there's the 3 main transformation masks. I use the bunny hood all the
Yes,
time.
there's 4. Stone mask is
Um,
good for stealth.
yep.
Um, the mummy one's good for that area, so that's useful.
Yeah.
So it's like
So,
6. I think there's maybe like a couple other ones that are useful as well, but like 24 is a lot.
yeah, the bomb one's nice if you don't have bombs yet
Yeah.
from the time reset.
Great
Um,
Fairy's good for when like you need to get stray fairies and they're often a weird portion of the place you're in.
yep.
So I feel like there should have been less masks, but that's just me because I feel like because like I said, like there's just so many that are just like you use it once and then you never use it again, so like it's kind of pointless.
Or even the troop leader mask. I don't ever remember using that
You use
ever.
it for one side quest
Do
where
you?
you're gathering up all the chickies.
Oh, right, right, right. Okay. You use it once and
That's it.
then
That's
it's just
it. Yeah.
and then you can use the I forget the name of it, but the one where like you go into Icona and it can show you like the mysterious guys that are there and you can fight them.
Or you just never put it on, so you never have to fight them.
Well, they give you hints.
Yeah, well, if you're
So
following a guide, you don't need to follow hints.
right, right. But if you're not following a guide, it's really
Yeah.
helpful.
I guess in my circumstance, I never had to use that thing because
Yeah.
there was never real incentive to using it.
Yeah, if you're not using a guide, then it's really helpful for them telling you like, hey, if you do this, then this will happen, and so you can figure out what to do with the story.
Mm-hmm. But I think in terms of
But
like item management, like outside of masks, like everything seems pretty par the course. So like for that, there wasn't like an excessive amount of stuff that you needed. Like for pretty much everything you were going to use, for the most part.
yeah,
So like that part was I think was fine. And also I guess it's kind of strange that like, you know, not many dungeons in this game.
nope. And that's one of the big criticisms that this gets, which is really interesting to me because Breath of the Wild gets the same criticism, is that there aren't enough dungeons.
Yeah, but I mean that's a completely different thing, I think.
Well, I know, but I'm saying that
Yeah.
it's an interesting thing that 2 of the games in the series that do very different things in terms of the actual like Zelda mechanics. The criticism that both of them get the most is that there aren't enough dungeons.
Which for me, I'm like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, there was still a lot to do
Yeah.
in both games, even without like having to have a like metric butt ton of dungeons. And I mean, like not that Ocarina had like a ton of dungeons, but It had a lot more than four.
Yeah, I think like some of the later Zelda games like go a little bit overboard on terms of dungeons to where there's like maybe too many.
Yeah.
So like having four is fine with me. Like and like you said, there's so much other stuff you can do. Like you're not I mean you can mainline all those dungeons and beat the game super quickly, but there's so much side content that like it doesn't really matter that there's not a lot of dungeons because there's so much other stuff to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I feel about it, is that it's really not that big of a deal. And like the dungeons are well designed and interesting.
Yeah,
So,
and that's a
um,
that's a benefit of having like fewer dungeons that you can make them interesting and well made. And if you're stretching out like to have more like that's gonna hurt that design capability. And especially considering the whole thing about this game was that they made it in a year. Like
yeah.
it's fine having four and having four well made ones, and they're able to do that in a year is impressive.
Yeah, I mean that's a major feat.
Well, speaking of that 1 year to of completion, I think that's kind of one of the other reasons why this gets sort of a bad rap is that I feel like some people like to see this as like, oh, they're just using the Ocarina engine and just kind of like spitting out something.
Hmm.
Like they made this just to make it. Which I mean, it is very similar to Ocarina. There's some crossover in terms of like stuff they use. Like there is music here and there that's the same. There's like,
90% of the character
the
models.
character models are pretty similar, textures and all that sort of stuff. But I was saying like when we were first playing this, like, oh, if this came out today, this would be a DLC, and that's probably not true going through the entirety of the game.
Hmm.
But it seems strange, but I guess for that time period, like, reusing an engine super quickly and pushing out a game super quickly isn't that like far off of like what games were doing at that time.
Yeah, and I mean you could compare it to something like Fallout New Vegas.
Right.
Like that's kind of the same kind of situation where you have like the main game and then you have this side game that uses a lot of the same assets.
And I mean, like that was just the thing for the games a lot of times where they would just, and I mean that still happens today, but like, you know, companies will reuse engines to get the most out of them.
Hmm.
And if that means like, hey, we can get a game out quicker, that's a benefit.
Yeah, that's one thing that people keep saying with Dancing Moon Knight. They're like, we're gonna get an HD Persona 3 because now they have the models for it. I'm like, we're
That's
not gonna get that, but
that's not a correlation you can necessarily make. Just because they have models doesn't mean they're gonna necessarily they
I
have
just think it's so funny.
3D worlds now that they can throw them in.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious that that's the thing that they're like, well, the assets are there, and like, yeah, some of them. You still got to build a whole lot of stuff.
Yep.
And I mean, that's one thing is that, like, yes, they reuse character models and some music, but like the entire world around Majora is new.
Persona 3 to Persona 4.
Yeah,
The prime
basically,
example of
yes.
that.
Yeah. Um, because I mean, we're not even in Hyrule anymore.
Mm-mm.
We're in Termina.
I mean, I guess like you technically are in the very beginning of the game.
Ye very beginning,
Yeah.
but you're leaving Hyrule.
So other than that,
So look
no.
for Navi.
Yeah. And then there's also the thing about how this was the thing that I thought, but I guess I was wrong about. But there was the rumors that this was supposed to be a 64DD game, which, if you're
Hmm.
unaware what the 64DD is, it was the add-on drive for the Nintendo 64 that would allow it to get to play discs, basically
Hmm.
giant floppy disks. And it was a thing that was released in Japan, and a few games came out for it, but it was supposed to come out over here, but then I don't think it did well in Japan, so Nintendo was like, we're not going to bring that out over here. But the thing about that was, apparently the 64DD Zelda thing turned out to be Master Quest, the Ocarina
Hmm.
thing, and then there was another thing they were showing at Nintendo Space World in '99 called Zelda Gaiden, and that's what ended up being Majora. It's a very confusing timeline. Which is more
Wow, that's
confusing,
I say
the
fitting for
development of
Zelda.
Majora or just the Zelda timeline in general?
Um, which I hate the Zelda timeline. I really, really hate the Zelda timeline. Um, it's pointless and it's annoying, but this one is intriguing in a sense because it's one of the very few that's like a direct sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is Kid Link from Ocarina, which um basically how this whole thing works is that the end of Ocarina, adult Zelda sends adult Link back into Kid Link's body. So this is essentially like a kid who's seen some and he goes and he warns the king about Ganondorf, and so Ganondorf never rises to power. And so that's where you get like the child timeline is what it's called. And so Link is there and he's a kid, but he wants to get Navi back. And so Navi, he goes to find Navi, and that's how Majora starts. And like this eventually leads to Twilight Princess.
Which
And
is
basically like
strange.
it is, but this poor Link, he's seen some stuff. He's a really tragic figure because in the child timeline, he saves the world. He goes back and then he like warns everybody, so he saves the world again. Um, he doesn't really get any kind of recognition for that. And then he goes and like does Majora, which is traumatic in and of itself. And then some stuff happens in between, but we're not exactly sure what. But we do learn that he kind of died in obscurity and he felt like he didn't get to like pass on his story or his abilities or anything. He also lost an eye at one point. And we find all this out because in Twilight Princess, you meet the hero Shade, and the hero Shade is Ocarina Link, Majora Link, as like a ghost skeleton teaching Twilight all kinds of moves, which is like really, really tragic.
How much of that though was like? Do you think the developers were like, "Oh, we're gonna tie these things together," or was it just like after the fact they're like, "Oh, that's our Ocarina and Majora Link. Yeah, totally. That's who it is, guys.
No, I mean
Right?
they put
Wink, wink."
like text in the game that indicated that it was him.
But do you think that even
So
works? Like as like a character like arc for this character?
that he would be upset about like being obscure.
Yeah.
I mean it depends because I mean that's one issue with Ocarina Majora is that we don't get any kind of really personification of this Link.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know who he is. And so, maybe he does feel slighted that he did all this stuff and like nobody cared. And also, like, it's got to be really, really, really traumatic to like essentially be a 17-year-old boy in a 10-year-old kid's body after you've done everything like for Hyrule and like nothing happens. So, I mean, he's probably real messed up.
I mean,
Like real messed up.
maybe. Considering
Do
how much of that though, like this character is a player insert. Considering you don't have many like real opportunities for like dialogue or anything, like that's all up to interpretation. And the way that they're basically presenting this now is that, oh, we're gonna make the interpretation for you, and if you think otherwise, well, you.
I
And I think that's super.
mean that's just how Twilight presented it.
Like
And so like they kind of like retconned his personality, I guess, but
I don't see from playing Ocarina and Majora, I don't see how we get to Twilight. Like I do not see that as a character progression for this character.
You mean you don't see him losing an eye?
I don't see him losing. I don't see him becoming like super regretful about things. Like the whole like ending of Majora is like, oh, like you get. It's about like, hey, making friends and all that sort of stuff. Like, why is he gonna write off and then be like, no one remembered me. I'm real brooding about this now. Everyone. It's like that doesn't make any sense.
But also, like, he's 10 in Majora, and
Yeah,
so we don't know what happens between 10 years old and when he dies.
but if
We know that at some point he becomes like a knight of some sort and he loses an eye, but
it just feels like to me they're just making this very like edgelordy, and if I hate that.
to be fair, Twilight Princess is a bit edgelordy.
It is, but like just deciding to make this one character like into a uber edgelord. Oh, he lost an eye and he became super regretful because no one remembered him. Like the flashback in the beginning of Majora, see, you like Zelda's like, here's the ocarina, use this in your adventure. He's not gonna go back and be like, hey guys, what's up? How's everything going? Or like make random visits to there or random visits to the town in Majora or anything. Like he has people who knows him and care about him, just because they may not necessarily know the facts of like he saved the world and all this sort of stuff. I don't see him just becoming like this super spiteful piece of shit that's like, oh, I hate everyone and I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna sit in my house and be very angsty about everything. Like I don't buy that for a second.
I mean, I get where you're coming from. I really, really do. It makes a lot of sense. I think the one thing that I could argue for, if I'm going to argue for it, is that like this version of Link probably has some like insane PTSD, and that changes a person.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that.
But like, what Link wouldn't have PTSD?
Exactly.
Like, poor Breath of the Wild Link is probably real messed up.
Think of like Zelda and Zelda 2 Link.
I just love his art because, like, in Zelda 1, he's like, oh, this is fine. And then you get Zelda 2, he's like, this again?
Having to do that again, go through like even more crazy circumstances, fighting a shadow version of yourself at the very end. Like, that boy would be real messed up.
Yeah, he definitely would.
But
and,
do we see him any other time in the timeline becoming like a super edgelord or anything like that? Nope.
I think it's probably because of the fans of Ocarina. I mean, let's be real, because there's so many fanboys of Ocarina, and like
there are
that time period where like they were growing up and it was edgelordy.
But who would, as a fan of Ocarina, if let's say we were, not necessarily we're not, but like if we were like one of those type of people, who would be happy with like the character that they grew up with and enjoyed becoming that?
Being so spiteful and regretful.
Like that seems like the complete opposite of the characterization of Link throughout the entirety of the franchise.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I keep thinking about like which Links have continuity, and we talked about Zelda 1 to Zelda 2. There's also Link to the Past to Link's Awakening to the Oracle games.
Right.
Like those are all the same Link, right?
And Link Between Worlds.
That's a different Link.
How is that a different Link from Link to the Past?
It's like a descendant of him.
It's supposed to be a direct sequel.
I don't think so.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure that's a different Link. Because the world is different.
No, it's the same world as Link to the Past.
Are you sure?
They literally were going to call that game Link to the Past 2.
Well, I know they were, but like this is, I don't know.
Let me look this up.
All right, I'm looking it up too. Beep beep.
The Link in A Link Between Worlds is chronologically the second Link in the Fallen Hero timeline, which I don't know what the that means.
Fallen Hero timeline is the timeline where Link fails in Ocarina, which is a problem in and of itself. That makes me crazy that that's a thing. Fallen timeline should have never happened. Yes, that makes sense. Wait, he's a second in that? Oh, because they're considering like Link to the Past, um, Link as one, and then Zelda.
I guess it's just saying that those are two different links, which makes no sense. Like that seems incredibly dumb to like make a distinction between those two. Like the moral of the story here is that them creating this stupid timeline makes
The timeline's
everything
trash.
so dumb.
Um, I feel like it was better when people just had like head canons of timeline rather than them saying like this is the official one, because now people are always trying to fit things into the timeline. It's so dumb. Like people have arguments about Breath of the Wild and where it fits, and I'm like, it doesn't matter where it fits.
Right? Like it's just like, hey, some of these games have sequels to them because that's the way the story is. That's just the way things go. Like you don't need to make some super convoluted timeline
It's
to try and make everything fit because it doesn't matter.
Well, and the thing that's so dumb about this timeline is that it's essentially like, okay, so here are the Ocarina ones on the right here, but then like, how do we fit in the original ones? Like, Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 and Link to the Past. Those are important, right? But they don't fit anywhere. So let's just make Link fail, and that's where it goes.
It'd be like
Like,
if you took all the Mario games and decided to make some dumb convoluted timeline out of that.
it's just unnecessary. And like, as much as I do, like I hate timeline stuff about Zelda. I absolutely hate the Zelda timeline. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
It's so unnecessary.
It's so unnecessary, and it's dumb, and it's like fanboy fuel.
Mm-hmm.
So I hate the timeline. That's essentially where everything lies, is that Twilight comes after this because edgelordiness.
Was
Um,
the whole timeline thing a thing when Twilight came out, or
yes.
okay?
It wasn't an official thing. It didn't become an official thing until Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword is when Nintendo officially published the timeline.
I just feel like talks of that, since I guess it wasn't official yet, influenced them to like make that decision for Twilight, and I just that sucks.
It's possible. I mean, it really is, because they're always trying to make some kind of Ocarina reference all the time. It's like, we get it, guys. People really liked Ocarina.
Like all you need to do for these things is like, hey, if some of these have sequels to them, that's great. But these are
Yeah.
their own original stories that feature the same characters throughout, and that's just the way things go.
Well, and like Skyward Sword sets up the lore for it. So, like, that's all you need is the lore set up, and then everything else doesn't really matter. It's in the same world. Okay, cool. Fine.
Like there are multiple stories out there in all sorts of mediums that revolve around the same set of characters, but in different circumstances or situations, and yet they don't need a huge stupid timeline to figure everything out. It's just people can use their brains and logic their way through and understand that, oh, this is a separate story from this and a separate story from this, but this one might actually be a continuation of this one. But we don't necessarily need them all connected because we are intelligent human beings and can figure these
Well,
things out.
and it's really funny because, like, them trying to put in stuff like Four Sword Adventures and like Minish Cap, like, those don't fit on a timeline anywhere. And they're like, but what if right here? And like,
It's dumb.
guys, no, just don't. So, this was our mandatory must talk about the timeline section of the podcast because it's a thing, but like, the timeline
Terrible.
sucks. And all we know is that Ocarina and Majora are connected. They're the same link. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Twilight
If you want
Princess
to put
happens
references into
eventually.
front to other games in your games, fine. That's
Yep.
okay. You don't need to make them all super connected.
Yeah.
Moral
No,
of the story.
yep. I completely agree.
I'm sorry, I got very hot there, but
No, it's good.
ugh.
Because it you know how much I hate the timeline.
Yeah.
You know how much I hate the timeline. It's dumb and it's so unnecessary. I don't even remember where I was gonna go now. Majora. We go to the moon.
Yeah. Well, the moon that is technically that one area from Xenoblade 2.
Elysium.
Which I was like, what? This is literally the same place.
It does look the same.
I was like, huh?
You see me a picture and you're like, when did I start playing Xenoblade 2? Like,
I
yeah.
was gonna go meet with Pyra at the tree.
And then it became Xenoblade 2. There you go. There's a timeline. Link is actually Rex.
I don't know if that makes me like Xenoblade 2 more or not.
I mean, Link does have a tendency to show off his legs, so Rex
It's
in those
true.
shorty
It's
shorts
true.
makes total sense. Oh my goodness.
You get to go to the moon. You have those little mini dungeons. You have one of the worst times in all of the game in that section.
um,
That part's just poorly developed. Not gonna lie, that part is the swimming part is poorly developed.
and to be fair to it, they changed the swimming mechanic in the 3DS version, so it's worse than it was in the 64. And so that was much easier on the 64, believe it or not.
The one bad change they made to the 3DS version.
Yeah, if you Google, like, one of the most complained about things is they changed the swimming mechanic because for one, you didn't use magic when you used Link's, like,
The shield thing.
yeah, the swimmy move thingy, the special move.
Hmm.
But that was also like a lot smoother. So it was a lot easier. But it, yeah, I agree. I had several issues with that one.
I mean, technically, the magic thing for me wasn't a big deal because I had the
Double magic bar.
the double magic bar and the milk thing that gives you like infinite magic throughout the 3 days.
Oh wow, I didn't do that.
So the guide was like, "You should probably do this. This would be a good idea." I was like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah, I didn't do that. I should have done that.
So that wasn't really the big deal. It was just the stupidity of the timing on getting up onto those platforms. And if you miss them, you go all the way back to the beginning for no discernible reason.
Yep.
It was literally the worst part about that game.
Yeah, I would agree with you that that's the one part that I'm like, this is not fun. But again, it worked better on the original, but this isn't the original, so what can you do? Which one thing that I do want to say is that, man, the 3DS version of it looks really
It
good.
does, yeah.
They did a fantastic job on.
It's the same people who did Ocarina 3D, so like there's no big surprise of like, hey, they look similar and they play pretty similar, and you know they did a good job on Ocarina, so it's no surprise that they did a good job here on Majora as well.
Well, and they fixed issues like the saving and the warping and all that. So it worked out really, really well.
Yeah. I think like one of the biggest surprises of this game is the end. When to do this, you basically have to get all the masks. Like it is not necessarily a thing that's like a guarantee, but like getting that bonus mask at the end and like literally just making it so like the final boss is a cakewalk.
Fierce Deity?
Yeah, like that was surprising.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen people go through and like actually figure out how to beat Majora,
Right,
but
yeah.
like I've never even bothered.
Considering like a lot of, you know, final bosses in Zelda games are challenging fights.
Yeah.
And this one is just like L target, mash B, you're good. I think I lost maybe like a quarter of health. Or not a quarter of health, like a quarter of a heart
Yeah.
throughout that fight. And that's
And
it.
the thing is, like, it rewards you for like being completionist, which is nice.
True, yeah.
Um,
It's just the thing, like, I was not expecting that thing that's so overpowered that it just, like, it lets you walk right through the final boss. And it's like, well, okay, you're good.
yeah, you sent me a text message like, so Fierce Deity makes this really easy, doesn't it? And I'm like, yeah.
That was something.
Yeah, Fierce Deity's really, really cool thing.
And then it gives you it for, like, for New Game Plus, and that seems completely broken.
There's so many like instances where people break the game in order to have Fierce Deity like all the time.
Oh, I bet.
It's awesome. And that design is so rad. Like that crazy like looping sword and the like paint on his
Hmm.
face. Like it's an altered version of adult Link from Ocarina, but he looks so rad.
He's not nearly as angry though when he's giant Link.
He's so funny because he's just
Ah!
I'm punching everything.
That's such a weird fight.
To be fair though, like if I were suddenly giant, I would probably yell a lot too, just for funsies.
And he slow rolls throughout the entire thing. He's like, he's like he's encumbered in Dark Souls.
It was so funny because you texted me and it autocorrected and you said fat roll.
That's what that's called in Dark Souls when like you have like a bunch of equipment on and
I did
you're
not think
slow to roll. It's called fat rolling.
fat roll. I thought you were saying that like Link got a fat roll.
No,
I'm like, he's not fat, he's
no,
10.
he was fat rolling because he was so big.
Which that's one thing is the boss fights are all different than they were in the 64 version.
Yeah,
Like with the water temple one, you could just stand on the platform and throw arrows at him the whole time to beat him. And so like when he knocks down the platform this time, like that's new. And all the eyeballs are new. You didn't have eyeballs in the original one.
yeah.
And
Like there's a lot of like eyeball things that they added for the 3DS version
mhm,
for giant
and
weak spots.
the giant's mask you actually got in the temple rather than at the
Yeah,
boss fight.
which I thought that was interesting, like how much like subtle differences they made between the two versions.
Hmm.
Like not just in terms of like, oh, we changed some of these things to balance the game better. It's just like, oh, we completely moved items around and did all that sort of stuff. Or like,
Rewards for side quests,
or the fairies come in like different orders now, like in terms of like what they give you.
which I appreciate a lot because getting that double magic bar is real helpful.
Yeah, that's usually a good thing to have pretty early on, regardless.
So one thing that I do want to talk about, and we talked about this a little bit before we started recording. Um, what theories have you heard about this game?
See, we were talking about this before, but like I'm sure I've heard of theories,
But
but
you don't remember them?
but I none of them are coming to mind as of this moment.
So one of the biggest ones, and I don't actually remember like the specifics of how it
How
works.
many of these theories
Um,
has their own website and is just linkisdead.com?
well, um,
See,
I'm not
I
even.
have to bring it up every time we have a theory discussion.
It's so funny. So the whole idea with Majora is, which this theory may or may not be true, but it talks about how it's like the 5 stages of grief.
Right.
Um, which is really, really interesting. I looked it up because I won't be able to do this off memory. It says first stage is denial, which is like everybody's still building up Clocktown, getting ready for the festival. Second stage is anger, which is the king of Woodfall who's like trying to murder a monkey. Um, Third stage is bargaining, which is Darmani trying to get Link to help his village. Fourth stage is depression, which is Lulu.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then the fifth stage is acceptance, which it says that this one's kind of dumb, but it says that he fights his way up the tower and faces 4 forms of himself, the previous stages of grief, and that he gets to light arrows in the process, which is acceptance. So that's one of the like main theories behind this game is that it's all supposed to be like the 5 stages of grief.
Hmm.
It's it's the reason that they say that this exists essentially is that he's grieving over the loss of Navi.
Okay.
Yep. Um, it's not quite as egregious as Squall is dead.
I don't know if anything's as egregious as that.
It's true. But I mean, it's an interesting idea. I think the last one's a bit of a stretch, but I would say that it would make more sense to say acceptance is like the whole thing with the Skull Kid,
Yeah, that would
but
make more sense.
whatevs. So I think that that's an interesting one, and I think there are theories that Link is dead, but I don't know like how that would even work because he's clearly not. I, yeah, here you go. You Google Link is dead, Majora's Mask, and it says why the Link is dead theory is wrong. Um, but yeah, it's saying that it's him in purgatory, which what? What? So this one's saying he's accepting his own death.
Are there like forms of purgatory where you're just repeating the same thing over and over again? Like genuinely, that's a legit question.
It's from game theory, which of course it's from game theory. It does make a really compelling argument. No, it doesn't make a compelling.
Let's talk about some game theory.
Oh my god. So we know for a fact that Termina is a parallel world to Hyrule. That
Right.
is official. Link doesn't die. Duh. Um, and the thing that is interesting is that like the Skull Kid is the same Skull Kid from Ocarina. And I don't know exactly how that works.
Wait, repeat what you just said.
Um, Skull Kid is the same Skull Kid that you talk to in Ocarina when you like play the Ocarina of Time or the Ocarina with him
Correct.
in he's the same Skull Kid because he mentions
Yeah.
at the very end like you smell like the kid who taught me the song.
Right, right, right.
And so I'm not really sure like how Skull Kid moves so easily between like the parallel worlds and how long he's been alive and that kind of weird stuff because like I'm thinking way too hard about this. Um, but anyway, so there are theories that Link is dead, and these are him accepting his death, and then there's other theories that like he's grieving over Navi. But regardless, grief is a big theme with the theories. They're all dumb. None of them are real.
That's usually how it goes.
And another thing that we talked about was that this game was the birth of like one of the original creepypastas, which legitimately freaked me out a lot when I first read it. Like I still kind of get freaked out when I see that like soulless Link face from the
statue.
Elegy of Emptiness or whatever it's called. Like God, it's so creepy. So creepy. Ugh. Ugh. And one thing that I was texting you about is that like some moments of the game are just so sad.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you're going around as what Mikau or whatever his name is, like around Lulu, who is his girlfriend essentially, and like they're having Zora babies together. And like he's parading around as this guy, but he's dead. He's on the beach. There's a grave for him.
Well, I mean, like all the
all the masks that you get for transformations are dead people. Yeah.
It's so messed up.
Yeah, like Darmani, people are like, oh, Darmani, you're back. We thought you died. Oh no.
Yep, it's me.
No.
I'm totally not dead.
And then like you see at the in the credits, like the butler from Woodfall like crying over his lost son. And they're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's tragic. And there's a mention in the story where he says like, oh, you remind me of my son. And he's been missing for a while. And then like you see in the ending, there's like crying over that stump that you meet in the first part of the game. You're like, oh no. This hurts. But yeah, everybody's dead. And then like the dancing guy is dead too, but his isn't really as sad. He just wanted to pass on his sweet dance moves.
As you do.
See, that guy had the right idea. He's like, I don't want my dance moves to fall into obscurity. So here's this mask, and I'm going to be happy about it. That's how you do it, guys. You
Here's my
don't
sweet
lose an
dance
eye
moves.
to become an edgelord.
That's what. If they were gonna put him in Twilight, they should have just had him come out and just dance, give you a dance, and that's it. That's the only reference. He shows up, dances, and he's gone.
And he's like, all right, everything's fine now. I did what I needed to do. But that's what the guy does. He's like, all right, cool. I can die happy now that somebody's gonna learn my moves.
Mm-hmm.
Did you just do like Yogi Bear?
What?
It sounded like you made like a Yogi Bear sound.
No, I said but I was also yawning at the same time.
It came out like that. Oh my god. I need sleep.
Oh boy.
Which, a lot of, well, not a lot of, all Zelda games except for like Breath of the Wild, like, hey, well, Skyward Sword too. Like maybe you should sleep sometimes, and like poor Majora Link never sleeps in any of these cycles.
He could literally stay up for 72 straight hours.
Yeah, and then like continue it again because you keep resetting time.
I wonder if when you're resetting time, if that resets like your
Exhaustion.
yeah.
I don't know because like he's aware of everything that's happened. Like he's the only one that's aware, but well, him and it's Tattle is the one that you have.
Yeah.
Because their names are Tattle and Tail. Tattletale.
Ah!
Ha! How clever. One thing that I really think could have been improved on is those giant designs are terrible.
The noise they make is also terrible. There's like they're giant bodies with faces in the middle, and then lanky arms and legs.
Little like mustache. Like what is that design? They don't look like world savers at all.
That's the secret of being a world saver. You get to be very lanky and have a mustache on your chest.
Basically be a circle with arms and legs.
Basically, yeah.
Or an egg. I'm not sure what shape they really are.
Egg.
Oh my god. They are weird looking dudes. Weird looking. And although the addition that we did get this time is that now Zora can wear clothes.
Yes.
Which eventually led to Breath of the Wild where Sidon gets to wear what's it? A cravat or whatever they're called?
Cravat.
Cravat, there you go. He got to be Edgeworth Zora.
Super fancy.
Yeah. Which that was one thing that happened in Hyrule Warriors is that you could unlock Lulu's dress for Ruto.
Huh.
Yeah, so you could basically just because you could be Lulu because Ruto's model is Lulu with a dress. Fun fact.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, I just want to know, like, you said when we went into this, like, you still don't really know what you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still not know what you think about it?
I mean, still no. It's just it's such a weird thing.
Yeah, I remember you came away from Zelda 2 and you're like, this is the best game. I love this. This is amazing. And that was pretty immediate.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's a bad game or anything like that. Like, it's good. It's well designed. The story is super strange. And it does a lot of weird things that I can appreciate. But at the same time, I don't know if it'd be top 5.
Do you like it better than Ocarina or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Because
Although
I think remember
hesitant, yes.
I remember when we got through Ocarina. I think my general thoughts were just like, yeah, that's a thing. Like I don't think it's as good as people say it was, but coming to it years later, like that's going to be a little bit different. So
Right.
like I can appreciate this a little bit more than Ocarina, just because Ocarina became a formula and this didn't.
Well, the formula started with Link to the Past.
Yeah, true.
But it was the 3D
Yeah,
version of the
yeah, yeah,
formula
yeah.
that
That's more what I was meaning.
got to the point where like people were sick of it, and then now they want people like they want them to go back to it. It's so confusing. Zelda fans are the worst. Legitimately, like I
Yeah,
hate Zelda fans. I
yeah,
hate Zelda fans. Um,
yeah.
because they always just like all the time. It's like my dudes, just enjoy it.
Maybe this would
It's
be
fun.
top five, like fifth.
All right, well, I
Because
mean,
I'm trying
top
to think
five.
like
Good.
what would be a top five. It'd be like Breath of the Wild, Link to the Past, uh,
Zelda 2.
Zelda 2, probably Zelda 1,
All
maybe.
right.
I don't know. I guess then yeah, that would probably leave Majora in there as well.
No Wind Waker?
Oh, Wind Waker's okay. Yeah, Wind Waker would be in there. So maybe either Zelda 1 or Majora would be fifth.
Yeah.
I was like, I know I'm forgetting something.
Yeah, Wind Waker.
Wind Waker is a good one.
Yeah,
Good.
I thought that you liked that one a lot, so I
Yeah,
was kind of confused it wasn't there.
that was just me forgetting.
Um, I mean, it's my top five is always fluctuating a bit, but Majora's usually regularly in it. It's usually like Majora, Link to the Past, Wind Waker. These are not in order, by the way.
Right, right,
Um,
yeah.
Breath of the Wild's definitely there.
Skyward.
I'd say Skyward would be in there. Those would be my top five.
I mean, you don't even have Zelda 2 in there, so it's not recognizable. So it's just the way these
Um,
go.
okay, but here's the thing. When I was a kid playing Zelda 2, it was really, really hard.
I mean, yeah,
Because,
that's. I don't think it's gotten any less hard.
oh, I know, but I was like a little bitty kid trying to play it. It was so hard,
Right,
and so
right.
I have bad memories of like getting really frustrated.
I mean, you remember I was going to quit that game at one point,
Yeah.
and then
Um,
you encouraged me, and I got through the hard part.
See, I didn't have a Jared to encourage
It's
me when I
true.
was like a toddler owl trying to beat Zelda 2, but the music's fantastic.
It is.
Some of the best music. Um, but yeah, it's a fantastic game. It really is. It's just I think it scarred me as a kid.
Completely fair.
Yeah, I think Minish Cap would be in there somewhere, but not top five, maybe six,
Right.
because I love Minish Cap so much.
Just not playing it on a Wii U.
Minish Cap?
Yeah. Or was that what was it? What was the one you were playing? It was Spirit Tracks.
That was Spirit
Yeah.
Tracks. Yeah, Minish Cap was on
GBA.
Game Boy.
Yeah.
Game Boy Advance.
My
Which
knowledge of
usually
the handheld games are, something
spotty.
spotty.
It's all right.
I tried to play
Will you
Minish Cap,
stop
but then
pacing?
yeah, I got real hissy about it. That's why I tried to play Minish Cap because I have it on the NES Classic, but like the save didn't work for some reason. So
Oh, huh. That's weird.
yeah,
So basically, what I'm hearing, we have to have you play Skyward and you have to play Minish Cap. That's what we have left.
apparently that's the thing. Yes, because like I said at the very beginning of this, like the only thing left in the mainline series in terms of like console releases is Skyward.
And I can't, personally, I don't think you're going to like Skyward as much as I do. I just really don't think you will. And I could be wrong on that. But I don't see you liking it as much as I do. But it's so important and it's really good.
I like your impassioned play. Like it's really good. Come on, it'll be
It is.
it'll be enjoyable.
It
Trust
is really
me,
good. Like
please.
the characters are all fantastic. And it was one of my favorite Zeldas until Breath of the Wild. I have three Zeldas that I'm like, y'all are my main bays, and that is Breath of the Wild, Skyward Sword, and Tetra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can buy that. At least for two of them, because those are the two I've played.
Well, eventually you'll find out, but we have completed another Zelda game in the
We
franchise,
have.
and uh,
Considering where I was, like, what, 2 years ago?
I know, what have I done to you?
Where I'd only played through Twilight.
Wow.
And that was it.
Wow.
And then over the course of our friendship, you made me play all of these other ones. Completely
Whoops.
corrupted me.
I've very much corrupted you.
I know, we had to play the Oracle games, and that was terrible.
Yeah, those are not as good as I remembered them being. Just, they're not. You know, maybe we'll eventually go back to Link Between Worlds so you can get through it.
That is one I want to go back to at some point. And Link's Awakening.
Link's Awakening is good. Basically, we're just gonna run the
bought
gauntlet
both of those
Zelda.
Oracle games when they came out. Both of
Oh, I
them.
did.
Both of them. I never beat both of them.
You know what we should do for a podcast one time?
What?
We should locate the Philips CDI games.
Jesus Christ.
We should.
Do you want us to just groan the entire time and just be like, for a podcast?
I mean, it would be the exact same as if we did an entire podcast about Squall is Dead.
That would be something. Yeah, maybe we'll do the CDI games at some point.
It would be hilarious, but we're gonna play through the good ones first.
I mean, we were playing through Oracle, so we're not even sticking to that.
Ugh.
Jeez.
Do you hear him?
No.
He's just nonstop hissing. He also doesn't like Oracle.
He apparently doesn't. Loki's been a very hissy boy today. If you're just tuning in,
He's
don't get the
hissed so many
context.
times on this podcast, and like I thought that it would pick up because he's been like legitimately hissing for the past like 2 minutes straight.
Such a weirdo.
I know. This is what happens when you shampoo a cat.
He really loves the timeline, so he's very mad at our opinions about it.
I raised him better than that.
I'd hope you did.
I raised him to appreciate a non-timeline Zelda universe.
So where does you know, there's a new Zelda game coming out called Hyrule Warriors. Where does that fit in the timeline?
I'm so upset because like this isn't canon. I'm like, you're not canon.
That's how you. Yep. That's the exact. It's the exact thing you tell someone.
It is. You know what? That's what I should just yell. That should be my new insult for people because they say Hyrule Warriors isn't canon. They say that female protagonist isn't canon. I'll just yell at people when I'm mad. I'm like, you're not canon.
I'm gonna go play Link's Crossbow Training, the most canon video game.
I own that.
I know you do.
I own the heck out of it.
When are you going to buy Game and Watch Zelda?
Ooh. I don't know. Maybe when I have a big girl job. Oh, and we get to play Zelda 1 co-op.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that because like I'm bad at Zelda games, so it'll be Al carrying me through a Zelda game that I've already beat. Yay!
Yay! Man, if it were a Link to the Past, I could wreck some faces.
Well, considering everyone's in a hoopla because they're like, yeah, we're taking the virtual console branding off, but we're still gonna do virtual console stuff. You know, maybe that'll happen in the near future.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, I hope they put Zelda 2 out there as well. I'd play
Oh.
co-op Zelda 2. We could both get very mad.
Yeah, but maybe with 2 people it would be easier.
I mean, I have beat that game,
I know. I have too.
so
Just
clearly 1 + 1 = 100. We would be able to beat that game.
That's not how you math, but that's why we're humanities majors. I'm gonna go into the 5 stages of grief.
And then afterwards, you're gonna be like, well, okay.
Everything's fine. We're friends now. Let's do a wood drawing of a carving of ourselves.
Or drawing, whichever.
I forget if I think it's supposed to be a carving, but it looks like chalk.
Yeah. Probably just
Yeah.
one of those things.
Graphics.
Graphics.
One thing that I know I keep saying this, but there's another thing that I should mention. And I don't know if you did it because it's a thing. If you do the like milk cart quest again,
Again.
yeah, the one where you're like shooting the guys.
Yeah. I didn't know that was a thing you could do again.
You can do it again. And if you do it a second time, then Crimea hugs Link and basically just like full on shoves his face into her boobs.
Well, then.
Yep. She like straight up molests this child.
That's something.
So that's the thing that happens.
Something I missed.
Yeah. It's yeah, there's so much stuff about the hug. Like you can go on the internet and just there's hugs stuff everywhere because
What a shocker.
apparently this was like a young boy's dream to get the boob hug. I make it sound like she's hugging him with her boobs.
It's my boyhood dream to get hugged with boobs.
It's his it's just gross.
Oh boy.
Basically, if you're an adult lady, don't molest 10-year-old boys.
Don't hug them.
I mean, you can hug them, just don't put your boobs in their face.
Oh boy.
I think it's really funny that that's one of the like most popular things about Majora's Mask is the boob hug.
Not surprising though.
No, it's not. It's not. As I've mentioned several times on this podcast, Zelda fans are terrible. Just downright awful. You have to be hesitant with them. You have to be like, I don't know, you like Zelda. I mean, this is coming from me. So, that's saying something.
It is.
Yeah, like I literally got a 3D printed Master Sword in the mail yesterday. I have a 2-foot Link on my kitchen counter. So, yeah. I like Zelda. I don't like Zelda fans.
Just a little bit.
They're the worst. They're the worst.
Well then. I think that's gonna do it for this episode, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that we missed. We didn't really talk about much of the story, but the story is Link's looking for Navi and the moon's gonna fall. We gotta save the moon and the town, and that's it. The moon's scary.
It's very scary.
And Hyrule Warriors, you can like drag it down and use it as a weapon.
It's real dumb.
It's amazing. Are you joking?
I mean, that's dumb in a good way.
Yeah. Like you just like AoE everybody with the moon.
God.
Love Musou games.
Well, that's something we'll be talking about in the very near future.
Musou?
Yeah.
Yeah. When I buy the game for a third time.
You could have bought it for a fourth time. Well, never mind. You couldn't have.
Why?
Because it's just the same card for the 3DS version.
Oh yeah.
Different
On
in terms
a
of hardware.
different- Yeah. No, I've purchased it every single time I could purchase it.
I mean, I'm going to finally play an inferior version of it, but, it is what it is.
Oh darn.
Shucks.
I really hope that it has the OG Link costume in there because I always had Link in that run around with like no pants on. It was fantastic. Got the brown hair. Let's go. I don't know though. Breath of the Wild Link's gonna be in there this time.
He is. And Zelda.
I know. Oh, she's never changing out of that outfit ever. But Link though, I don't know. I have to think about it.
Decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll address those when we get to that.
When we Muso again.
See you next Muso. Well, other than that, let's wrap this bad boy up.
A little bow.
This sad boy up.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. So many dead people.
If you'd like more from us, go to seasonalineandcheckup.com or sac.cool, where you can find past episodes of this very podcast. You can go find all of other Zelda-themed episodes that we've done. There's quite a few.
Mm-hmm. Because of me, I've made you play all
That's
these
true.
games like a very cruel friend.
Forced me against my will to play all these games.
Mm-hmm. That's what I do.
You can also find other podcasts like Seasonal Line Checkup and Jared and Watch Salem and Crystal, which is wrapping up here very shortly.
Oh my gosh, what are we gonna do?
There's after this week, there'll only be 3 more episodes left. Ow.
Wow.
You can also find columns and reviews as well. You can go check out my latest Crunchyroll piece, which will be up around on the social medias, if you want to check that out. And if you want to see Anladium, go to anladium.com. She's got columns and reviews up on her site. They're cool.
I do. Yay.
You follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/animecheckup. It's where we do Twitter. At times.
Sometimes.
And you can follow us or support us on Patreon, patreon.com/SACOVA. If you're like, wow, these people really hate the timeline, that's something I would like to give them $1 for. There you go. Point proven. Like the last couple of weeks, we don't know what we're going to be doing next week, so we'll have something though.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll have this completed by then, so we'll see.
We're just making this up as we go, which is usually how we do things.
Yeah, I mean,
To be fair,
what are plans?
nothing.
Yeah, meh.
So yeah, look forward to whatever we do next week. It'll be great because that's
Finger guns.
that's what we do. We do greatness here.
It's true.